Let's talk about if waiting to find out the gender of my baby at birth was as magical as everybody says it is. If you don't know me, I'm Beth. I had my third baby 2 weeks ago, and this was the first baby that we didn't find out the gender for. We kept it surprise. Literally everybody told me it was going to be the most magical thing in the world. It's the best surprise you'll ever have, and I was set that we weren't going to find out this time. We'd had a gender reveal with the other two, and that was gorgeous. But this time around, we were like, right, we're going to do it different. It's probably going to be our last baby. Let's wait till the birth. Everyone says it's the most magical thing. Let's do it. So I would say with the pregnancy, it was hard. For the first 12 weeks, I was like, this is a girl. I know it is. Then the rest of my pregnancy, like if you look back at any of my videos, I was like, this is a boy. I know it is. But obviously, it wasn't confirmed. So although I felt in my gut that it was a boy, it was still very hard to imagine who it was. So although I didn't necessarily struggle with the bond, it was just hard to like picture, and it was hard to picture my other two with him or her because I didn't know who they were going to be. Whereas like I think when you know the gender, you can build up a little image in your head of who they are. I will say for the last few weeks, the excitement of like, oh my God, we're going to find out who this baby is really carried me through. But then we get to the birth. Obviously, like everyone was like, oh my God, it is just the best, most magical surprise you'll ever have finding out at the birth. And I was so excited. But it's really hard. So, obviously when you have a gender reveal, it's everything that matters, like in that moment, like you find out the gender. So it's like really celebrated and excitable. Whereas in this case, I mean, it was just completely irrelevant, the gender. Like, we had no preference anyway, but because of the situation around Remy's birth, and I will talk about it soon, it wasn't like a big moment of like, oh my God, who is he? It was just like, it's a boy, now on to the next thing kind of thing. To be honest, that's probably because of the way the birth had gone, and he was getting taken off me straight away to get some help. Also, I was adamant, like I was desperate for Callum to tell me the gender. I thought that would be gorgeous. But again, because of the situation, I'm not sure. I just remember that the midwife said to me, here he is. And I said, he, or something. And she was like, oh, I don't know. And so then at that point, I just looked myself, and Callum didn't really get that moment of being like, it's a boy. And I think that's kind of the moment I was really excited for. But that's fine. Just kind of felt like it wasn't a moment that was celebrated. And I know everyone says, oh, it's the best surprise of your life. And like, there's no surprises left in life. But whether you find out at a gender reveal or at the birth, it's still a surprise. So I don't really agree with that. And I think personally, we're probably not going to have another baby. But if we were to, I would find out the gender, I think. Just because I think it makes it easier to imagine who they are. And I just didn't find it that magical finding out at the birth. And I think that's quite an unpopular opinion. Let me know if you waited, if you were team green, if you felt the same as me. Because I don't know whether I've missed out on this really magical moment. I've still got that 2 weeks later from the cannula, by the way. Yeah, I don't know if I'm like, maybe it was just, again, because of the situation around Remy's birth, it wasn't the most magical experience of him coming into the world initially. So maybe that's why, and maybe I'm just biased because of that. But yeah, let me know if you felt the same, because I feel like this is like a really unpopular opinion.